Cindi, talking about an automation tool, how important is it to have an automation tool when you use Data Vault?
Well, I think first of all, we ought to just talk briefly about why so many vendors are able to write DV2 components into their automation tooling. And it goes back to the methodology. You know, this consistent, repeatable, pattern-based methodology, not just in the model, but in the process designs, you know, the data pipeline engineering and the way, you know, we run the agile teaming. If we look at agility, you know, the capability maturity model is the grandfather of all things agile. And so in order to automate, right, there are certain pieces that must be in place. And we talk about the CMMI levels of maturity with regard to software development. We look at Data Vault, the Data Vault solution, any BI full end-to-end solution as a software development effort. And we come from this position that, you know, as far as definition, which is level 2 of the CMMI pyramid, if you will, you can't define what you don't understand. And then we have this level 3 identification, which is, you know, you can't identify what you don't define. And we step up in the maturity curve, if you will, and we get to level 4, and it has to do with measurement. And you cannot measure what you don't identify. So each piece steps, you know, upon the next. And then finally, when it comes to optimization, you can't optimize what you don't measure. So every step of the capability maturity model leads you up to, ultimately should lead you, I will say, to optimization, which is really what Agile is all about. The kicker here is that you cannot automate what you haven't optimized. So automation, in my opinion, puts you off the charts for CMMI. So when we talk about automation and automation tools, the reason that vendors can take the patterns is because Data Vault is already at level 5 out of the box if you follow the standards. So one of Data Vault Alliance's focus is, as a standards board, is to provide vendor tool component certification. We introduced what we call our VTCP, which is our vendor tool certification program, at last year's conference to help our customers identify automation tools that have passed DVA's testing rigor for compliance. And because we have a set of standards and patterns, right, Data Vault being born out of CMM, vendors are able to take advantage of the metadata-driven approach that's inherent in Data Vault. And the result usually is this suite of vendor tool components that help teams accelerate. You don't need a tool, but we recommend tooling because rolling your own requires maintenance and extensive testing. So the team, in our opinion, should be focused on rapid delivery of business value, not tool maintenance and development, which is why we recommend finding a tool that incorporates Data Vault 2 compliant methodology.
So find a tool, just know when to use it.
Well, think about a tool. You know, a tool is only as good as the hand of the skilled craftsman who holds it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there right now.
And you know, one of the things I think that's important with the automation is when you're first starting and trying to get your environment set and get some of the things that you're trying to get done, you're bound to make some early mistakes, right? Mm-hmm. You're still learning, so you're going to iterate a couple times over something. With having that automation there, it's like, well, now I can just regen what I need to do and get going and testing the data. And to me, that's the biggest difference. If you were, let's just say you're 10 years into this and you know it inside out, probably, you know, you can do some things, but still the value of being able to generate this stuff. And like you said, Cindi, I think it's the agility play of being able to get in your hands of your users to start validating and giving you feedback of what they're seeing is really the important part.
You're absolutely right, Mike. 100%. I concur with everything you just said. It is the ability to iterate, and those tools do. That's why we call them really automation team acceleration tools, right? So that you can, make changes very, very quickly with low impact as you're moving along, discovering, things like your business keys and your relationships that may not be self-evident in the data, and being able to iterate and integrate on business keys. So I absolutely concur that is exactly how you ought to use those automation tools.